What is going on, my fellow geeks, and welcome back to Raving Geeks.
I do have a media recommendation.
I love Lord of the Rings. Superheroes, movies, a little jack of all trades, I guess.
So what makes me a geek?
What is going on, my fellow geeks, and welcome back to Raving Geeks, your weekly pop culture podcast from Central Michigan Life, where we discuss all things geek culture, which is like high culture, but better. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you follow the CM Life Instagram and Twitter pages for updates on the podcast, and to look for us wherever you find your podcast, including YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on our website at www.cm-life.com. My name is Brendan Valentine, and I'd like to thank you all for joining me and my fellow co-hosts this week, who will introduce themselves in a second with our question of the week. This week's question is, what is your favorite Netflix original content? I can start with mine really quick. While mine isn't completely Netflix original, it was a show that was canceled and then picked up by Netflix in its fourth season, and that would be Lucifer.
I guess that as soon as you said it was canceled, I was like, nope, that's what it is.
Anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge Lucifer fan, but if I have to pick something that's like Netflix from the beginning, it's Stranger Things. Oh wait, no, never mind. I take that back. I just remembered this because it actually got canceled by Netflix and hasn't gotten a second season, but it's called The Society, which was a Netflix original show. Season 1 was so good, and how they didn't get a season 2 befuddles me. So, hosts, co-hosts. Yeah. What about y'all?
I'll go next. Hey everyone, it's Hope Goodero. My favorite Netflix original. So if we're going with TV series, it's going to be between Shadow and Bone and Outer Banks. But movie is going to be The King with Timothy Chalamet in it. So
Timothy Chamomile tea.
Yeah.
Good choice. Hello, Isaac Hunter here. My favorite Netflix original series or TV show would probably be The Haunting of Hill House, which I've mentioned before. I love it. I love The Haunting of Bly Manor and Midnight Mass, but I think Hill House is king, and it made me cry. So that's how you know it's good.
I think Professor Jeffrey Weinstock, I think this was the show he was talking about. He mentioned 2 different ones that Netflix has done. But that was one of them. I think that one was the one that he was like, I hated the ending, screwed up everything else. But the rest of the season.
No, he was talking about Bly Manor.
Ah, yes, that one. Okay, there we go.
Yes, and we actually have a guest host on today as well. Guest host, I can pose the same question to you. What is your favorite Netflix original content? But first, can you tell us who you are and just a little bit about yourself?
Hi, hello, my name is Brendan Wiesner. I'm also Brendan. I'm a reporter at CM Life, and this is my first time being on a podcast, and I'm really excited to be here.
We're excited to have you.
Favorite Netflix shows? I'm rewatching BoJack Horseman right now, and that's such a great show for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of great writing, but honestly, my favorite is probably Daredevil. It's just some of the best, most real superhero content there is, and the fact that we got 3 seasons of it is awesome too, because it only gets better with time.
Yeah, no, Charlie Cox does a fantastic job too.
I swear I just saw something, and this leads into geek news, but I swear I just saw something that said that they picked it back up for season 4.
They've been
Charlie Cox is filming, so
I think that was just a rumor, but there's been the whole Save Daredevil thing ever since season 3 ended, which honestly, that would be great if they don't mess it up, because season 3 ended in a great cliffhanger spot. So
Alrighty. Well then, thank you all for introducing yourselves so eloquently. And now to get things started, we'd like to share some quick geek news. So hosts, what have you got for us today?
All right. As I was actually discussing with guest Brendan before we started, Warner Bros. Has officially announced their Multiverses, which is a Smash Bros. Like video game. But it's really fun because it has a bunch of characters that we know and love from movies and TV shows, and they're all played by most of their original actors. So we got Batman, voiced by Kevin Conroy, fantastic. There's Wonder Woman, voiced by Abby Trott. Harley Quinn, voiced by Tara Strong. Uh, of course, there's Shaggy, voiced by Matthew Lillard, which is fantastic because that's the Shaggy, actor from the live actions. Arya Stark, voiced by Maisie Williams. Jake the dog, voiced by John DiMaggio. Finn the human, Jeremy Shada. Just like a bunch of characters. Steven Universe, Garnet, Tom and Jerry, as well as some original characters. So I think that's going to be quite the meme, if you ask me, with Shaggy being one of the fighters.
Yo,
Did you
when is this
see-
game coming out? I did not. I saw like the concept art for it. Just saw the Batman thing. Was like, oh, it's probably just like, what?
It's set to release in 2022. I don't know if this says the exact release date, which, yeah, leaving it as a mystery. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Who's
Did
making
you
this
say
game?
Well, it's Warner Bros. I don't know who there's an official first trailer screenshot, actually, is what it is.
It's interesting that they're doing another fighting game because Warner Brothers also has Injustice. But I've actually
That's what I was wondering because NetherRealm does it for them.
But this is
And-
going to be more like Smash Brothers style. I think it's more like 3D. But I've
So
saw
it's-
some speculation that because Warner Brothers already is partnering with NetherRealm for Injustice about possible Mortal Kombat crossovers, but this looks more like a younger, toned down version of the game.
Isaac, did you say Jeremy Shada is voicing one of the characters?
He's voicing Finn. He's
Okay.
from Adventure
He-
Time.
He was in the Netflix original series that has yet to be said whether there is a season 2 or not, by Kenny Ortega, Julie and the Phantoms, and he was one of the Phantoms in boy
Oh,
band.
he's also plays Lance in the Netflix original show Voltron, which is also really good.
Yeah.
Jeremy Shada. Let's just get him in there. Multiverses.
I follow him on TikTok too, and his videos with his wife are absolutely adorable. I love them so much.
All right. What kind of news do you guys have?
I'll go next. So first off, with Thanksgiving coming up, it was announced that at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, the musical that would be live during the parade, like have their cast performing and everything, is the Six the Musical, which is a newer Broadway show that I have actually never heard of, but listening to the actress singing the opening to a song from the musical on TikTok, I was like, this is something I need to see at some point in my life. So I'm excited for that because I'm always excited for live shows, especially Broadway shows, to be shown during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. In the news of small children and Sesame Street, Sesame Street has a new character that they just announced. This is 7-year-old Ji Young, who is a Korean American. She loves rocking out on the electric guitar and skateboarding, and will make history as the first Asian American Muppet on Sesame Street. She is also going to be puppeteered by Kathleen Kim, and she will be introduced on the upcoming See Us Coming Together, a Sesame Street special. So I'm super excited for that because 1, more diversity, but 2, also like getting to show Korean culture and like holidays and everything. I'm just super excited for kids to be able to learn about different cultures. And my next thing is going to be a really quick one because I just saw this and I made me groan. But so Harry Styles, this part doesn't make me groan. Harry Styles now has an official Marvel poster for his character Star Fox from the Eternals film. Just got released. What made me groan was the way this writer started off the article was, attention, bedroom walls of those 12 and under. You're about to be joined by a new poster. And I would like to point out, I am 24 and I would love to have this new poster. And I know quite a lot of other people older than 12 years old that will be adding this poster to their bedroom walls.
I was gonna say, I feel like 12-year-olds don't really like Harry Styles is like grown up with his audience.
Well, so most 12-year-olds know him as just solo artist Harry Styles, whereas like those of us that are older know him from One Direction and grew up watching him in One Direction, then solo artist. And then my final bit of geek news is that with the new Harry Potter project coming out on HBO Max on the first day of the new year, so January 1st, 2022, J.K. Rowling was actually banned from this project with the original cast. Since the latter half of 2019, Rowling has been making a mess for herself because of her controversial opinions on transgender people and what rights they should or should not have. Basically, she says that they should not have any rights. And yeah, so that's basically all of the fans in the Harry Potter fandom have said, we don't support her anymore. We still support the rest of like what she did and the cast and everything. But honestly, at this point too, like the Harry Potter universe has taken its own, like with the fandom making different like stories and everything within the Harry Potter universe. Like it's kind of split off from J.K. Rowling anyways, and like headcanons are all like fan made and everything. But Warner Media quietly made the decision to not add her to the Harry Potter 20th anniversary Return to Hogwarts that will be on HBO Max. So this is my plug for HBO Max to sponsor us. But if not, I will try and figure out a way to get the streaming service.
Is this like a documentary type thing, like a review of it, or is this like new canon Harry Potter content?
So it's all as much of the original cast as they can. I think it's basically like going back through and like having all the cast talk about everything. And like I know there was talk of someone wanting to direct a movie of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child to bring back the original actors, Rupert Grint, Emma Watson, and Daniel Radcliffe to play, the adult versions of their characters. But that was just a director going, hey, I want to do this project. But yeah, I think this is just going to be like them all reuniting and talking about it and going back through it.
Okay, so it's the actors, not the characters, that are reuniting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. All righty. Well, on my end for geek news, there was a big, if you remember last week, I was very excited for a certain blue lightsaber wielding Jedi to make his appearance in a trailer in his self-titled show. And unfortunately, that trailer did not release. However, we did get some behind the scenes features and a little bit more information about the show, basically confirming that we will be seeing an Obi-Wan Darth Vader rematch in the Kenobi series. But not only that, there was a whole day dedicated to what is up and coming on Disney Plus. I'll just give you the quick highlights versions. A couple movies that were previously only available for Premiere Access, such as Jungle Cruise, or just in theaters in the case of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And a couple other projects, such as season 2 of The World According to Jeff Goldblum, and a new like documentary-esque series, The Legacy of Boba Fett. All released. So we got a couple new releases on Disney Plus directly, and then a couple teaser trailers looking at some of the future Marvel shows. Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Miss Marvel, we all got first looks for, which all look amazing. We also got announcements, as well as Secret Invasion. We got to see a picture of a eye patch to Nick Fury with a beard, which I think looked really cool. 3 new projects we got information for were Spider-Man Freshman Year, which is an animated show storytelling the MCU Spider-Man prior to Civil War. So I think that could be really exciting. There has been no confirmation whether Tom Holland will be voicing this since he is animated.
He's not going to be. It's someone else. I don't know who, but it's not Tom Holland.
Well, it's not Tom Holland. Last time I checked, it was not. Yeah, it was still unknown, but I don't know. I'm sure Tom Holland has said yes.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I think there's a Sony Marvel problem that keeps him from voicing Spider-Man in the non-movies, which is also why they replaced him for What If.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was plenty. Yeah, but also we did get confirmation. We talked about it a few weeks ago, but Agatha Harkness will be getting her own series, as well as a spin-off series from What If called Marvel Zombies. From the one episode that I'm sure you all know what I'm referring to if you've watched What If. Other non-MCU stuff, Baymax is getting his own show. If you remember from Big Hero 6. Well, I mean, actually, technically, that's also Marvel adjacent because Big Hero 6 is owned by Marvel, but not MCU. Then we're getting a couple of other new shows. One specifically is we're getting a Princess and the Frog original series. It's like a follow-up to the movie, which looks really good. Where is it? Sorry, I'm going through. I have notes. The Andy Samberg and John Mulaney Chip and Dale will debut in the spring, which looks really funny. Hocus Pocus 2, we got some images for. So there's just a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. Oh, and my favorite thing, Enchanted got released on Disney Plus to kind of preview the sequel that will be coming out, Disenchanted.
What?
So
Where they're actually having Patrick Dempsey sing, which he spent his entire Grey's Anatomy career not having to sing in a single episode of their musical episodes, and then he came back for Disenchanted, and they're like, guess what?
it just shows you how good Enchanted is and how powerful the House of Mouse is. Also, the Proud Family, if any of you watched that when you were a kid, is coming back with like a sequel series, which is very impressive. So that's the bulk of my news. But also, for any of you who aren't aware, by the time the show is released, remakes of some of my favorite video games of all times will have come out. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. So I'm just excited. And in honor of that, we actually have another guest coming to the podcast, and that is my son, Oakley. For those of you who are listening on audio, this is my Turtwig, and who was my first Pokemon ever. So for the rest of the episode, as long as Zoom doesn't cut him out and make him part of my background, he's going to sit on my shoulder. Dang it, Zoom, he gets cut out. Okay, so he's just going to sit in front of me and hang out for the rest of the episode.
Nice to meet you, Oakley.
Perfect.
Exactly.
Alrighty. So, moving on. We have kind of like dual main topics of the week. First off, we're going to start. Number one movie on Netflix this week, as we hinted to in our opening conversation, is called Red Notice with Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. We all watched the movie. We want to give it a quick review, go over how it stands up compared to other. I would qualify this as a heist movie. Really, like there were other elements in it too, but like how it stacks up against other heist movies and things like that. So, overall, just like general impressions of the film. Any of you have anything that you really want to say about it?
I loved it.
Yeah, it was good. I honestly, from the trailers, I expected it to be more James Bond-esque, but it was more Indiana Jones-esque. And so, but like it wasn't bad. It was just like, I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's going to be from the trailer. And then going into it, I was like, oh, okay. I kind of like this a little bit better than what the trailers were suggesting. So yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun because it was like, it was almost like a spy movie, but then it was also like an artifact retrieval movie. There were some twists along the way that hit me like a freight train.
Just say spoiler warning, Isaac, and we can talk about them.
Spoiler warning. No, we can leave that. I'm just talking about a brief review. I got hit by a freight train of a twist, and I was like, "What the heck?" Was it rated R or PG-13?
PG-13.
I think it was PG-13 because they only said
There was an F word once.
Yeah, they only actually said the F word once.
When that happened, I was like, "What's this rated?"
When he
it's rated Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Well, because he was originally like they almost said it and they knocked him out, and I'm like, oh, that must have been their one F word, and then nope.
I think they have 2 or 3 now, but that was a great time to use it.
Yeah. It was good. Brendan guessed. What did you think?
I had more to say about this than I thought I would. I went into it thinking it was going to be one of those generic early 2000s action movies. In a way it kind of was, but it was good. It was, predictable, but it wasn't like cheesy and it wasn't like ridiculous. After a certain point in the movie, I came to this realization that it's basically just a thinly veiled excuse of a movie to have Ryan Reynolds just keep playing Deadpool between Deadpool contracts. That's basically what the movie was to me. It felt like Deadpool mixed with Fast and Furious in like, oh, The Rock's there, why not? And it was
Gal
really
Gadot
worked.
was in the Fast and Furious too.
Yeah.
She was
So-
in before
Yeah,
she
but
got
they killed
off.
her.
Yeah, well,
Spoiler.
talk about that.
Kidding.
If you haven't seen Furious 6 by now.
Yeah, because that's what confused tangent real quick. But like watching that after watching Tokyo Drift confused the crap out of me because
As it
Han
should.
dies in Tokyo Drift, but then in
Spoiler.
6 he's alive, and I was like,
They
But yeah.
changed the Fast and Furious timeline around a lot.
Yeah, they said, wait, we really like this guy.
Yeah.
Let's just stuff everything in this little brief time before. Brendan, original. What did you think of the movie?
I liked it. It was very good. It's very hard to go wrong with, The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. All phenomenal actors. And the movie was pretty good, but I did think it was just a generic heist movie. The whole time I enjoyed it. I'd watch it again with other people, but like I don't know, it's not going down as one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah.
I can see
say-
that.
do that.
for me, it's like it's my go-to when I need a good little like laugh and lightheartedness because it wasn't really ever heavy. And especially right now with the pandemic and everything, like it was really nice just to have a light movie that didn't have heavy themes to like have to go through.
See, that was my issue with it, is it didn't fully lean into like it was not fully comedic, it was not fully action, it was not fully like drama. In my opinion. And like when I watch a movie or even when I watch a comedy, I want it to like not I want it to like go like, yes, the whole point of this is to make you laugh. And I didn't feel like the whole point of the movie was to make me laugh. But my favorite kind of movies are ones that make me think, the ones that made me speculate. And once this was over, I was like, okay, cool, they're gonna pull another heist. But I'm not curious as to what this next heist is. Like I feel like their story's over. And I don't know. I prefer movies, even comedies, that are like, oh, there's still something going on once the camera shut off. And I feel like it was like, yeah.
I laughed.
Oh, I also laughed. It was a very funny movie. It was very good, but I'd say it was kind of generic, which works if you want to like get everyone to watch it.
Yeah. I will say there was a fun little Easter egg to Indiana Jones besides the overall premise. I don't know if you guys caught it.
Yes!
Dun, dun, dun,
The
dun.
whistling. Also,
That's not even what I'm talking about, though.
Car, right?
I'm
The car.
the car.
Yeah.
That's not even what I'm talking about, though. Because when they were in the area with the car and all of the spoiler alert, they go to a cave and it's just full of Nazi artifacts. Very Ark of the Covenant. And I was like, this is very Ark of the Covenant. And then I was wondering, I was like, ooh, I wonder if we're gonna see the box of the Ark of the Covenant. And there's a brief moment where they stop and turn, and you do in fact
That's
see
what it was.
you see a box with it's backwards.
Yeah.
But it's like a wooden box, and it says the same thing that it says in Indiana Jones, which is top secret Army Intel 9906753. Do not open. And the moment I saw that, I was like, that has to be it. And I Googled it and I was like, it is. And so that made me happy.
Well,
yeah.
I think the theme that they played off of the entire time with the music, I feel like it was riffed on The Incredibles, but like I could be wrong. But I don't know. It was one of those I was like, I recognize part of this and I don't know why, but I think it's because of The Incredibles. But I honestly, it wasn't until you said it because they zoom in on it And I was like, okay, that's important. Why is it important? But it didn't connect until you said it. That makes so much more
Nazis.
sense now.
Always hiding artifacts.
It
Yep.
does feel like a very self-aware movie. Like
Mhm.
it really like it kind of hits you over the head with like the emotional beats. Like you were kind of saying earlier about how like it doesn't really make up its decision between like the emotional or the comedic. But even when it does the emotional stuff, it's like, yeah, we know what we're doing. We're just gonna have them talk and literally just exposit their emotional journey, and then we'll get back to just them being kind of crazy. But I think
Mhm.
the fast pace and the long runtime really helped with that because it felt like it was like, hey, this is a scene where it's going to be emotional. This is a scene where there's going to be a bunch of Nazi artifacts, and it's very obvious where it's going next. But
Mhm. I also thought the self-awareness part was really good. Like you said, Ryan Reynolds also finding a way to play Deadpool when he isn't playing Deadpool.
he's just so
Um,
charismatic. He's just
there's
great.
so much weird fourth wall breaking in the movie though. Where he like calls out like this is a trope of like a heist movie, but we're not gonna do that, and then they do it anyway. It happens like 4 or 5 times that I can remember.
I will say I was genuinely surprised where they didn't make The Rock like an awesome fighter. Like he was decent, but he wasn't like the best in the movie. Like there were moments where he got his butt kicked, and I mean, at least in one scene that was actually supposed to happen. Spoilers. But I was like waiting for him to like just like fight in like the prison, just like beat everyone up. But it's like, oh, he didn't.
Hmm
I
I think
also
that
really
that
like,
might have given him away. Oh,
Yeah.
we can talk about that twist later.
yeah, but I also really like the fact of when Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson were going through the jungle in Argentina, how like Ryan Reynolds looked very Indiana Jones, but Dwayne Johnson looked like his character from Journey to the Mysterious Island. And I was like, all right, I see where we're going. But also, what's the one with Nick Jonas and Jack Black?
Oh
It's the
yeah.
game Jumanji.
Jumanji
Yeah, because his character kind of looked like that too in Jumanji, but
and
like
Jungle Cruise. He looks like that too.
Oh
I'm really
dang!
glad you brought that up because it was when they were in the Nazi artifact scene, and that was the scene where I looked at it and I had this like epiphany where I was like, you know, the Uncharted trailer with Tom Holland looks great, but Ryan Reynolds would be a much better Nathan Drake.
see, but
Ooh.
Tom Holland is supposed to be a younger Nathan Drake.
Yeah, but he's gonna do the old Nathan Drake stuff anyways. He's jumping out of the plane and everything. Just put Ryan Reynolds in there, and he can do the whole sarcastic, mean guy thing that Nathan Drake is like. You know, he's not like Spider-Man. You know.
Yeah.
See, I
Mhm.
think what's his name? Castle Nathan Fillion. Because I think Nathan Fillion was the one who like for the video game itself, Uncharted, was like the person they created Nathan Drake off of. Was like, no, I'm excited for Tom Holland to play a younger version of me. It was like, sounds about right for Nathan Fillion to.
I know that he has much more prolific roles, but I can't picture Nathan Fillion as anything else except the cartoon make fun of version of himself from Big Mouth. For those of you who haven't watched Big Mouth, one of the characters has a crush on Nathan Fillion, so like he just like her imagination version of him pops up all the time, so I can never not think of him as like just a joke, which is
Oh,
bad because he's a good actor.
yeah. I love Nathan Fillion. I just think of Buck from Halo ODST and Halo
Ah,
5.
mhm.
I was gonna
He
say,
stands out so much in that game, though.
Yeah.
Like you're just looking around, you're like, this is Halo, and also Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Nathan Fillion's here by my side.
So, this made me think of this. I also wanted to mention how much I loved that Ed Sheeran cameo.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that was so good.
I was in Game of Thrones, and he's like swinging a guitar.
Wasn't expecting it, and it happened.
Part. Especially
Mhm.
because she ignores the eggs and she just goes straight for, oh my god, it's Ed Sheeran. Best
And
part
she's
of the
like,
movie.
oh, so pretty, and then starts, oh my god, and the dad's just standing there like,
I literally spent $300 million on this.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
But
Ed Sheeran is the only one besides the dad that gets arrested.
Because
He caught the cop. Like,
The
yeah,
bride, I thought too. I thought the bride got arrested or at least like pulled off the stage.
yeah,
Yeah.
something
Because
like
Walked
she was
that.
off
like,
the
"Get
stage,
your
too.
hands off me!"
Ah,
But the only reason why Ed Sheeran was arrested was because he was swinging a guitar at the agent.
ah. And it's funny because like a lot of fans, he got a lot of backlash for being in Game of Thrones, so it's kind of funny that he can make jokes about it.
Yeah.
that's fair.
I do like how it just does like small cameos like that too. Like I'm pretty sure he had a cameo in that movie about the Beatles. It was like where the Beatles never existed.
Yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He did.
He does it. I think he likes to do those small things where he can just be like, "I'm Ed Sheeran. Just put me in the movie and point at me and say, hey, it's Ed Sheeran." Like,
Yeah, I mean that works.
I laugh.
I laughed. I enjoyed I know the way I described it earlier was kind of critical, but I did enjoy the movie. It was fun to watch. But like when it was done, I was just like, oh, okay, cool. And like movies like Interstellar, or I guess like if you listen to the episode last week, Eternals, like stuff like that just makes me think a lot more, and that's it. But fun movie, great for a movie night overall. It's generally a pretty like I think most people would enjoy this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And you're kind of rooting for Ryan Reynolds.
the whole time I'm rooting for Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. I was like, this guy, he's a criminal, but I want him to be the best criminal.
Exactly.
Number one.
I think the thing that makes like most like heist movies or like kind of spy movies like this is like the twist, and this movie was full of them. Um, and I think so. Obviously, we have the big twist, but I think leading up to that, there were a couple of like minor twists. This is the major spoilery part, just for so people know.
Spoiler warning.
Spoiler warning, even though we've already talked about the movie a lot. But so we've got like our first kind of major twist where like Dwayne the Rock Johnson is sent to prison. But that's like in the description of the film. Then you've got another twist where Sotto Voce is working with the bishop. And then we have a third twist where Ryan Reynolds or Nolan Booth? Nolan Booth.
Booth.
That sounds right.
His last name's Booth.
Mr.
I just
Booth.
called him Ryan Reynolds while I watched it, honestly.
Ryan. But then we also the big twist at the end is that Agent Hartley, Dwayne the Rock Johnson, and the Bishop Gal Gadot are actually both the Bishop and have been playing Nolan Booth the entire time. Which is
And they're dating.
Yeah, they're together romantically, which I thought was
Because
weird.
there's two bishops on a chest. But
That
lots
was-
of pawns.
That was a good line. However, I have one good twist. I actually didn't see that one coming. The other ones I saw coming. But the one thing it undoes is I feel like it kind of undoes a lot of this whole like my parents caused my problems arc. Like I know that the parent stuff with Dwayne the Rock Johnson was still real, but I was hoping that the big twist at the end would also, because there's a throwaway line by Gal Gadot's Bishop, that like she also has issues with her dad, like in the scene with the therapist that they never elaborate on, and I thought that would have been a good time to tie that all together, which they didn't do. But I mean that's my major critique of it. Otherwise, very good twist. I didn't see that one coming.
Honestly, this might just be me and like having watched a bunch of different things where this happens, but I was expecting the Interpol agent to like actually be the
Yeah.
bad guy and
Yeah.
then
Me too.
Bishop to
Yeah.
be the good guy. And I was like, what is going, especially when she's driving and she's so like angry. And I was like, this agent has to be the bad guy, right?
When she showed up at the party, I thought for sure she was going to be the bad guy because they said she's working with the partner, and I knew it wasn't going to be the warlord. She was obviously going to betray him. But yeah, like you said, Brendan, this was the first time I've been genuinely surprised by a twist in a generic action movie in a very long time, and it was.
I agree with Hope too. I 100% thought Das was going to be. I thought she was going to be a Nazi. Honestly, I thought she was going to be a Nazi sympathizer that was looking for this treasure for a long time, was like a treasure hunter like Booth's dad.
He's
and was like,
actually Booth's dad.
actually, Agent Hartley is no. The one thing that I also thought was going to be like one final twist is Ryan Reynolds' dad and Dwayne The Rock Johnson's dad were going to be the same guy.
Yes, that's what I thought too. I was like,
But
please
they're
let this be a
not.
twist.
That wasn't a thing. If there's a sequel and they both find that out, that'd be. I'd watch a sequel of this just to see if that's true. But
That would be really interesting that the Swedish cop was also like a con man, that like his one son became a con man because the cop part of him was like, no, I'm gonna be con man, F you cop dad. Whereas the other one's like, nah, I'm gonna be a better con man than my con man dad. Like,
and if people thought that it'd be difficult, he's like, no, his dad was around. It's like, nah, because if Dwayne The Rock Johnson's dad was a con man, then he could be conning his second family, which is this American professor and her son. That
Yeah.
also is his son.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
fun speculation. But yeah, overall, fun movie. I do have one final question for y'all, unless there's anything else you want to discuss.
go for it.
So, we are all familiar that like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds have been in a lot of other films. Most significantly, I think we are all aware that all of them have played superhero or superhero adjacent characters. So I'm just quick question. Who do you think would win in a three-way fight? Deadpool versus Wonder Woman versus Black Adam.
Wonder Woman.
Brendan says Wonder Woman.
This happens because Wonder Woman and Black Adam have fought several times in the comics, and it usually goes back and forth. And I mean, Deadpool can heal, but he's just gonna get backhanded out of that fight really quick, you know.
See, and I was thinking of Deadpool becoming like the baby version, like when he does. I think it's the first movie. I don't remember if I've seen
It
the
happens
second
in
one or
both
not.
movies.
Yeah.
But like where he just like, all right, I gotta go heal, and just like goes and sits on the sideline and like is baby hands and everything. And Black Adam and Black Widow, Black Adam and Wonder Woman are fighting it out. And see, I don't know the comics as well as y'all do. But I was gonna say Wonder Woman anyways, just because she defeated Ares in the first movie. So that was gonna be my way.
See, so obviously this is a cheap answer. It obviously depends on the tone of the film. It's like obviously, like, if it's like supposed to just be like a normal superhero film, like Wonder Woman's gonna win because she always does it. She's badass. But if it's like a darker film, like, yeah, like Black Adam will win. But and if it's a comedy, Deadpool will. Because if anything, let's just say they're like trying to get to a MacGuffin, just like the egg, and they're like fighting.
Oh, that was such a good line in the movie. Like, let's look for a box labeled MacGuffin.
MacGuffin. Because obviously it would probably be like immediately they like blow up Deadpool or something, and then like it would just be this epic battle between Wonder Woman and Black Adam, and it would be epic because they have powers of godly proportion. And it'd be one of those things where like at the end you would see like Hope said, like a half baby regenerating Deadpool like holding the MacGuffin, and he's like, and like an announcer's like, Deadpool wins. If Deadpool's in the movie, it's probably something like that. Power wise though, I do think Wonder Woman would win, but there is a chance, of course, that Black Adam would win. If Black Adam wins, he'd be killing Wonder Woman. If Wonder Woman wins, she'd be subduing Black Adam.
I think she would kill him too. I mean, it depends on which version of Wonder Woman you're talking about also.
Injustice.
Injustice version?
No, I'm just kidding.
Right through. But I mean, like, even current comic Wonder Woman has the sword that has a magic sword that she loves to use to kill people.
Yeah.
And, they've fought several times in the comics, and their fights usually go back and forth. But, like, usually Black Adam and Superman fight, and that's, like, a hard fight because he's like, oh, he's almost as strong as Superman, and also he has magic. But Wonder Woman doesn't really have that same weakness. Yeah. I think she would, with the lasso and then the sword that can cut through anything.
And cool theme music. Yeah, she's got it.
I think she'd take 60 out of 40 fights. And then Deadpool, of course, would probably take one, just like you said, running towards the MacGuffin, or like just disappearing for half the fight and then dropping out of the sky with like a magic sword and killing both
Yeah.
of them.
That's my thing. I think the only situation in which Black Adam wins is when Deadpool distracts Wonder Woman enough for Deadpool to take advantage of it, for Black Adam to take advantage of it. But in like how I think most of the fights would go is Wonder Woman wins at just a straight up brawl with Black Adam while Deadpool kicks back and watches, and then there's no way Deadpool does any like serious damage to Diana in any way. I see the only way that Deadpool wins is simply outlasting the other two with his healing ability, like
And-
tiring her out.
And even in like in the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe comic, which is a fun comic.
He's
He-
the Maramasa.
He gets destroyed tons of times.
Yeah.
But then usually he's still able to usually either get like a technology thing or like a certain gun that can kill certain people, or he does a lot of explosives and like sneaky maneuvers. So yeah. Wonder Woman. She's
I think
Woman.
that sounds like our answer, Wonder Woman.
So there actually is, I just remembered this. I think it was actually the Injustice comics. I think it was year 2 or 3. She fights Black Adam and she gets the lasso around him. And then she just says, "The lasso compels me you to tell the truth. What is your magic word?" And then he says Shazam. So I think
that's cool.
Easy. Yeah, I think if she's fast enough, she can get the lasso and he can not resist it for long enough, that might be an easy win for her. And like you said too, when Deadpool killed Hulk, he had to like hide nuclear bombs and Pym particles and shrink them down, and then blew up all the Avengers. And then even then, he had to wait for Hulk to go to sleep. You know,
Yeah.
he needed like his magic sword to kill just like Wolverine and Sabretooth. So he probably wouldn't get too far on Wonder Woman, who would crush him.
Yeah, and he'd
Mhm.
probably, knowing him, he'd probably just have the hots for Wonder Woman.
That's
or
what I was
Black Adam,
thinking.
or both of them. Let's
You'd
be
probably
honest.
have the hots for both of them.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, Wonder Woman pulls out the lasso, and then Deadpool's immediate response is, "Yes, mommy."
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing we wanted to go talk about a little more in depth was a few days ago.
On the topic of
now-
superheroes.
On the topic of superheroes, we got the second trailer for Spider-Man: No Way Home. Just thoughts, highlights of the trailer, anything you wanted to talk about specifically?
I'm jealous of Zendaya
Why?
because he looks amazing in this trailer and she gets to date him. And I'm like,
I'm
Yes.
happy for Zendaya because
Yes.
I'm not victim to the sin of envy like you hope.
I'm happy for both of them.
Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, okay?
I was gonna say, normal host Brendan, you always are very careful about what you say so you don't get in trouble with your girlfriend.
Yeah.
So
What's her name again, Brendan?
Okay, Mike, get ready to bleep it out.
No.
Yeah, sorry,
I-
Oakley, we
okay.
can't talk about your mother.
I really liked the trailer. It blew my mind to the point where like I started watching it and I was like, I gotta wait for my girlfriend to get home, and then we watched it together. And then like the moment, spoiler, it's a trailer. I know some people that don't watch trailers because
what?
they'll get.
I know
spoiled
people that
for the
also
movie.
don't watch trailers or any promotional material.
And there are some trailers that like show the whole movie.
Somebody's really bad at this. Like you can tell, there's shots in the trailer that you can tell come from the last 10 minutes of the movie, and it's
Yeah.
like, why would you put that in the trailer?
Yeah. No, I'm super excited. There's so much to talk about. I don't even.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to know.
Talk about the Hidden Spiderman. I don't know if you guys have seen. I'm sorry if I interrupted you, but
Well,
there's.
I was just gonna ask really quick because I just saw this on Instagram before we started. Did anyone notice that they changed the Statue of Liberty to
Yeah.
like honor Captain America? Because I totally missed that apparently.
Now
Yeah.
they're building a Cap statue in New York.
Completely missed
Maybe
that.
it's a different universe.
I think it's gonna be Lady Liberty with the shield.
Okay.
That's
That
my
would make
guess.
sense.
As almost like an honor, like a symbol of liberty. in honor of Captain America Sacrifice, maybe we'll actually get mentioned that Steve Rogers is no longer with us. I doubt it. I'll doubt they'll say that.
Probably on the moon.
Yeah,
Doing moon stuff.
he's a Skrull.
But there's the couple of shots in the trailer that people on the internet specifically have been blowing up about. Specifically, the one where Peter jumps at Sandman, Electro, and the Lizard, and you can kind of tell that it looks like there have been people cropped out of it.
Yeah,
like because the Lizard is punched by like an invisible person, and it just looks like. I have been a long time denier that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to show up at all, but this has been kind of a turning point for me where it's like they're clearly editing something out of the trailers, and I think this is Sony's problem because they could have just not showed that shot at all. You know?
I will give it. I mean, I really hope that Toby and Andrew are in it. I will give it the benefit of the doubt that it would be really cool if he teams up with like Doc Ock and maybe even Goblin or Hobgoblin. That's what Brendan, our host, would say.
That is my theory. It's Ned becomes the Hobgoblin, or we get a multiverse version of Ned as the Hobgoblin. This Ned. He got ripped for this role. I'm telling you.
There is a brief scene you see of a goblin on a glider, and it most likely is just original Green Goblin, but in a new outfit. But he's got goggles and
that's definitely Willem Dafoe's voice.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I also thought it could be Harry Amazing Spider-Man. James Franco's.
It looked like they showed a shot of James Franco New Goblin, or no, James Franco New Goblin from the original ones.
Yeah.
There's one shot where it kind of looks like him, but you can't really be certain.
It also could be the Goblin from Amazing Spider-Man, who's the actor's name.
Yeah. What is
he was in Valerian.
That movie messed up my mind.
The one thing that did make me think that might be true is because of that one shot where MJ's falling, where it looks a lot like the Death of Gwen Stacy shots. And I'm like, so like maybe he's trying to take her out the same way, or maybe
it's
Andrew
clearly
Garfield.
reminiscent of it, but that's probably
But like, there was someone on my TikTok feed who was very adamant about the fact that it is Andrew Garfield's spider suit, not Peter, not Tom Holland's, because of the way that like the blue and the red, and like showing earlier that Peter's still wearing the Iron Spider suit and has like the gold and everything, is different hand than the hand reaching for MJ and is like trying to save, the girl that he couldn't before. But like, I was like,
my guess for this is if in the event that Andrew Garfield is in the movie, will be Tom reaching for her, but Andrew's gonna be the one that saves her, and maybe he like shoots a web underneath her, and he's like I should have done that the first time because it's not her fault, or something like that, or maybe he just swings it. I don't know, man.
However, the one thing about the spider suits is in the Far From Home trailers, they had him in his original suit when he was actually in the Iron Spider's suit. So I'm not taking anything like that from this trailer seriously, including the new suits that we see. Also, the weird thing where he has like this Doctor Strange magic gauntlet around his. I guess this is the upgraded Night Monkey suit.
Yeah, in a fight with at one point he has his phone duct taped to his chest when he's fighting Electro. That's a fun little shot. Brendan, what were you saying?
I'm really glad you guys brought up the suits because I have a lot of opinions on spider suits, but particularly they seem obsessed with giving him like 3 new ones every single movie. But
toys.
I kind of, I never did love the Iron Spider suit look that much. It just never looked great for me. And there's this one shot where you can see Doc Ock has that red going along the thing. So I think what's happening here is he's like absorbing his suit, which is why there's, I think, 4 suits in this trailer alone. and two of them are like previously unknown. But the black suit, which I thought, or in the first trailer, I thought that black suit was going to be a Venom that came in from another universe. But with that shot of like the magic web shooter, I think, I remember reading a Spider-Man Doc Strange team up book where like he gave Peter a magic suit to help him fight magic people. And so I think that's part of what it is. And, because, they're going to have to nerf Doctor Strange at some point. Like you can see like in that trailer when he's like on top of the statue and he's like, they're coming through. That's probably going to be his, hold the waterfall moment. But I think their way of getting around that is he's going to give Peter the magic black suit. And that may or may not have something to do with Venom because, Venom 2 spoilers, he's probably going to be in this movie, even if he's not a bad guy. Because even if you count everyone, Doc Ock, Goblin, Sandman, Electro, Lizard, that's only Sinister 5 before they get to Venom. So I think at some point they're going to bring in Venom. It's going to be the Sinister 6 finally. And then Venom maybe and Doc Ock will turn good because you don't see Doc Ock fighting in that last scene.
I'm thinking, I mean, Doc Ock I love Spider-Man 2 because I thought his name escapes me, the guy that plays Doc Ock.
Alfred Molina.
Alfred Molina. I love him. I love that movie. And he is a good guy. It's the
AI that takes over his brain.
The AI that takes over his brain. But there's that moment where he's like talking to like the kids, the gang, the Scooby Gang. That's a reference to the trailer. And they're making fun of his name. But I mean, I do think that he is totally viable to like team up with them. But it seems like Doctor Strange does have an antagonistic point, like in this movie where he's going to be an antagonist at one point.
Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange. Because it looks like Doctor Strange wants to get all of these superhero villains back into their worlds, and he's got like the magic Pokeball box thing. That's my guess, is that it's like a small, like he can capture them into it.
Yeah, like a target where it's like a prison.
It's bigger on the inside. But he's talking to Peter, and he's like, yeah, like they all died in their own, like died fighting Spider-Man, which isn't true. Sandman does not die.
It could be a different Sandman and a different Lizard.
Yeah. And so he says that. And then Peter's like, I don't want to do that. And like that's when he does a web shoot at the box thing. So it looks like they're probably like Peter's fighting over for like morality. He doesn't want to send these people to their death. They don't deserve death. And Peter is, Spider-Man's not the kind of guy to just let people die. Well, he is sometimes. So I don't know. It looks like they're going to fight Doctor Strange at one point, and I'm curious at what point in the movie.
Mm-hmm. My guess is that would be what delays the final battle, or like they have an initial issue, maybe like Doc Ock. Strange comes in, helps them figure that out, and then they fight Strange, have to avoid Strange, and then he's like, "All right, fine, but here's the final conflict." Speaking of the final conflict, the last line of the trailer, with Doctor Strange saying, "They're coming, and I can't stop them." Who is they?
I know.
Sinister 66.
All of them.
The Sinister 666? Mark of the Beast.
So I know, I mean, it's got to be a lot of something. It's not just one. It's not like Dormammu. He said they, which I mean, they can be one, of course. My initial thought was other Doctor Stranges, but this is a Spider-Man movie, and I feel like they would want to focus on Spider-Man stuff. So maybe a bunch of evil Spider-Men.
I think maybe it's gonna be just like the Sandman, Electro, Lizard. Because like you kind of said earlier, the Doctor Strange fight is probably going to come in that time. But I think that's actually what's going to cause the final fight. I think Doctor Strange is going to have the situation fixed and ready to send them all back home. And then Peter's like, I'm not going to send them to their death. And then messes up again, which in addition to breaking the spell the first time, which is probably gonna, because we don't see Sandman, Electro, or Lizard doing anything in the daytime. And most of the trailer is like in the daytime, even when he's like running through like that cafeteria and who knows what world, and it looks like he's like traveling a lot. It's all in the daytime except for the Statue of Liberty fight. So it probably transitions from, you know, Peter accidentally sets them loose and then they come through the portal and then they attack the cops in the town and then they converge on the Statue of Liberty. And then, because the big problem, you know, with Spider-Man 3, the original one, and the same reason a lot of people didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 2 was that eventually it just got too packed. There are too many characters trying to do too many different things. So I think a lot of these bad guys, and if they do Andrew and Toby at all, it's going to probably be the same way, where it's going to be like, oh, we've established like why they're here. We're just going to briefly show you them. You know, we're going to bring in these bad guys for one big fight scene, and then they're going to go away. And then we're not going to develop huge character arcs for all of them. That draws time away from our main characters, you know?
That's fair. I think I could go with that. This the whole thing just doesn't, to me, from the vibe of the trailers, seem like the Spider-Man story that they've been telling through the past two Spider-Man movies. Like with Homecoming and Far From Home, like Homecoming was very much like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and then Far From Home was like you have to become an Avenger. And I was thinking they'd finish it with like you have to balance the two, of like, or like you have to choose one. You can't be both. And this seems to just be kicking it up a notch. Like you have to be like a protector of the universe slash multiverse, not just of the world. So which is an interesting, you know, just a lot more breadth. I thought they'd do more of a depth story for the last movie, but this seems more of like a breadth story to just expand the universe, which in Phase 4 is a lot of expanding the universe. So
the universe is your neighborhood. I think someone's going to die.
If they kill off Happy Hogan, this is another TikTok video.
I think it's Happy Hogan.
That they show
if anyone
Happy
dies,
Hogan.
it's Ned. There's no way they're killing off MJ.
I also think Ned's gonna die too.
I also think Ned's gonna die, or like a multiverse Ned, or Ned. I don't know, but I think
knowing multiverse versions, they'll probably kill off another version of Peter or MJ, so they can be like, "Oh, look what could have happened." But if they're gonna kill off anyone important, it's gonna be Ned, because they've been building up to this Peter MJ relationship for so long, and it's clear that we're not gonna get a chance to really develop it in this movie because they're just gonna spend so much time doing plot stuff, you know.
Or evil Ned.
Or evil Ned. I don't know. I don't think this version of Ned, because this version of Ned has always been so far detached from comic book Ned leads. Like that, his relationship with Betty in Far From Home is like the only thing that connects the two characters, really. If they make him Hobgoblin, that would be great. That would be bold.
If they pull it off, that would be so cool.
I don't think they can pull it off.
Ned is the key.
Think about how much is already going on in this movie. You have 2 other Spider-Men, 6 villains. And Doctor Strange is the sidekick. There's going to be way too much time to develop a Ned becoming the Hobgoblin in the background story. Maybe for Spider-Man 4, I could see it, but...
However, we are not getting a Spider-Man 4. Tom Holland will make an appearance in one more Avengers film, and then his contract with the MCU is done.
He's going to re-sign it. He's got to.
They've already done that once, and I feel like he pulled his card with Disney.
With calling Bob Iger while he was drunk. No, but Tom Holland actually has said, because he's been super active lately with his family's charity organization, because they're currently doing a drawing contest thing for going to the red carpet premiere with Tom Holland and Zendaya, and like getting to walk the red carpet and see the movie with them. So he's been live and stuff, and he said that he doesn't want to be 30 years old and be the Spider-Man with back pain. So he is very willing to like pass off the torch. He also said that like the next Spider-Man should be Miles Morales. Like, if they're going to continue the live action Spider-Man, they need to bring Miles into the MCU and get his storyline going. Which I was like, thank you, Tom Holland, for saying that.
Speaking of which, Into the Spider-Verse 2 is coming out, and they just cast Spider-Woman, so that's fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Spider-Woman.
Gosh, I just had it.
There could be so many different Spider-Woman it could be. Because if it's like ultimate
I guess.
Spider-Woman, like clone Jessica Drew.
Yeah, it's.
Oh,
Issa,
I was just.
the actress is Issa Rae. Yeah, she stars Spider-Woman in Into the Spider-Verse sequel. That's all I know. She's playing, as Jessica Drew.
That's cool. We have not seen a big version of Jessica Drew in anything, I don't think. I think the biggest version of Jessica Drew we saw not in comics was a couple of the 90s Spider-Man cartoons, but
Didn't she make a brief appearance in one of like the Disney XD Spider-Man ones?
she might have.
Maybe.
They did a Spider-Verse arc, and I think she had a small role.
She's looked over a lot, which is weird because she's not even like
She's a really good character.
Yeah, she's
like
not even a
especially in
multiverse
Avengers
character
crossover.
either. Yeah,
And she's like an important character in the comics too. To a
Yeah.
lot of different things.
and she got sick powers.
But anyway, yeah, excited for the trailer. Movie comes out in less than a month. Fingers crossed that Marvel knows what they're doing, but also I have the same fear with this one that I had with Endgame, that the hype for it just might be too big for it to hold up. But Endgame pulled it off, so hopefully they can do it with this one too. But anyway, as always here on Raving Geeks, we like to end with some recommendations for our viewers, whether that be movies, games, comics, or anything else. Co-hosts, or actually, let's have our guests start. Brendan, do you have any recommendations for us?
I was thinking about recommending The Witcher 3 because I recently just started my third playthrough of The Witcher 3.
Always a good recommendation.
Everybody knows about Witcher 3, so I wanted to shout out something more specific. The current run, I should have looked up who the writer is because I can't remember off the top of my head. But the current DC run of Nightwing, I'm catching up on it right now, is really good. This Nightwing run got a lot of flack last year because they gave him this amnesia storyline that everybody hated. But since coming back from it, it's been like 5 or 6 issues back from it, and it's just really amazing. Nightwing has always been one of my favorite characters, and they're doing this whole path now where he's the billionaire and Bruce is broke. So, and he's starting this whole foundation in Bloodhaven, and it's finally getting into Rebirth, Nightwing, Bloodhaven era, and they're doing some old stuff with his origin too. So it's a great read. Everybody should go check it out and if you don't know who Nightwing is, because I think a lot of casual people don't really know about Nightwing, you should go read his Batman and Robin titles first. So yeah.
Dick Grayson, love him. My favorite Robin. I know that's.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Nightwing from Injustice. That's Damian Wayne, the best Nightwing.
Please, get out of here.
What?
I'm joking with you so hard.
Come on.
Cool costume, but that's about it.
Too much red.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the red, but
It hides all the blood, right?
Yeah, and
the rest of the costume
Damian Wayne
black,
was murdering people, so
specifically Dick Grayson.
It was an accident, but
I guess then he did get to become Deadman, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, a rock was involved too, so
it was the stupidest death in all. It is one of the dumbest deaths in all.
I was so upset.
Better in the comics. It's not that much better, but it's a little better in the comics. Because he doesn't the getting hit in the head doesn't kill him. Yeah, he gets hit and then he falls over and lands on a rock.
You killed my son. No, my son is dead. That's what he says. All right, sorry. Well, my recommendation. I mentioned it the other week. And yes, everyone has heard of The Witcher, but not many people have heard of Skyrim. I think I mentioned the other week that I just got Anniversary Edition, but I've been playing it. And there's a lot of new content, and I'm very happy. And I'm sure I could have gotten that content by just getting the Creation Club, but that's all right. You can get like pets. I have 4 pets following me right now. I got 2 bugs, a rabbit, and a goat. I love it, and there's a lot of references to Oblivion, my favorite Elder Scrolls game, and so I'm quite excited. I'm happy about that. Yeah.
All right.
Hope.
Well, I have 2 recommendations. So the first one, I know I've said it before on the show, but Turner and Hooch, my roommate and I finished it, and like there were a couple moments in like a couple of the episodes where we're like, finally, and then we were like, especially towards the end, we were like, oh my god, this better not happen. It was really good, especially like honoring Tom Hanks's version of Turner was really nice. And then my other one is a new show that currently only has 7 episodes because they have not aired anymore at the moment, but it is going to be a full season, is the newest NCIS spinoff, NCIS Hawaii. It is absolutely amazing. There are only 2 characters that are white, and one of them doesn't look like the stereotypical white man. You think that he's Native Hawaiian or just Islander, but he is a white man, a haole as they call him in one of the episodes. But it's really good. The cast is amazing. Like all of the relationships that they have interwoven, it's absolutely amazing. And of course, true to NCIS style, all of the crime scenes and everything, are like accurate and things that would likely happen in real life that we don't know about because we don't generally pay attention to Navy cops. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, I mean, I have to recommend Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, even though they haven't come out yet. They are based off some of the best games ever to be made, in my opinion. Those are just the first major games I ever played, was Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. But I also have to recommend with the Disney Plus Day, they released some these little shorts called Olaf Presents, which is just Olaf's take on all of like the Disney princess movies, which is really funny to watch people oversimplify and make fun of the stories. I know it's just kind of like dumb, but if you're looking for a laugh, it's worth watching. I enjoyed them. And yeah, that's my major thing for this week. So, alrighty, well, that's all we have for y'all today. Thank you all for joining us here on Raving Geeks. Make sure you leave a comment from wherever you're listening from. We love to hear what you thought. Recommendations for new episodes or like topic questions or anything like that. We love to hear from y'all. If you want to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitter, or our TikTok with @RavingGeeks. And I just want to give a special thank you to our guest host today, Brendan Wiesner.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. This was
Thank
really
you for
fun.
being on.
Yeah.
And as always, I've been Brendan Valentine alongside my co-hosts.
Hope Gooderl.
And I'm Isaac Hunter. And our guest is
Brendan Wiesner.
Ta-da! Stay geeky and have a great weeky, everyone. So long.
Bye.